I know that elections are coming up, and look, I pray to God. I love you like I love Trump. I really do. I adore both of you guys. You know that. I love you. I love Sarah. I love all you guys. But, you know, there is a group of people in Israel and here in America that are rooting for your defeat. Even though you've won 5 of the last 6 elections, are you pretty confident? Because I love what you said to Mark Levin at JNS. I was sitting in the front row looking right at you, BB, when you said, I plan on being here for a long time. I think you meant that, yes?
Yes, I did. But let me tell you, I run in every election as if I'm going to lose. It's up to me and my colleagues to make sure we don't. So I never make these gung-ho predictions. I say to my followers, in fact, I will lose unless you guys show up in on voting day. That's really my approach, and I think it's the right one. I intend to be around.
I have a lot of big people on this show, Trump, Bibi, all of them. There's nobody bigger than Mark Levin. I think he's the most important voice in the world. I actually wanted to have you on the show a couple of days ago, Monday when Graham died. I think Mark is the most important and smartest voice in the world. I legitimately love the man. I had the opportunity to spend time with Mark and his lovely wife, Julie, in Israel a couple of weeks ago. It was an honor. In fact, Bibi was late for that first Sunday night speech, and they had me and Mark fill the time. Mark must have spoken for an hour and a half, and he was brilliant. He does a radio show all over America. He's on this station every night. We're lucky to have him. 2 great shows on Fox News every Saturday and Sunday night. Most importantly, like I said, a dear friend and the most powerful voice in the world today, my friend, the great one, Mark Levin. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Oh, Sid, I'm doing a lot better now. That was very incredible of you. Not true, but thank you. And I do want people to know that you and I are very, very tight, and we text all the time, and we bump into each other all the time, give each other a big hug, and we genuinely do love each other because Sid and I, really, we have the same views about America, Israel, the Islamists, the Marxists, and all the rest of it. And Sid, you're number one in New York for a reason, in the toughest slot, the morning slot. And people love you, and for a very good reason, brother.
Thank you. What I said was true, and thank you. I know you're humble. And that is Mark, by the way. He's not he's not just saying that for the air. He's a humble guy, but just brilliant. You know, I will often text you. There's a big admission on air. I'm going to see the president, I think, this Saturday in Bedminster, New Jersey, the summer White House. And I'll often text Mark. I'll go, I think I pissed off the president. I don't know. And then we'll talk about some subject, maybe Iran, maybe Turkey, something out there that is certainly a hot topic. And you'll kind of talk me off the ledge. But it does seem like recently, as much as I adore and love Trump, and I think he's the best president ever, that I've been a bit critical about a whole variety of topics. And people tend to get crazy. Oh, you don't love Trump anymore. That's not true. I can be critical of a few things and still love the president, yes?
Of course. I mean, I am as well. And he loves you. He's very, very busy. He's a big fan of mine, and we're big fans of his. We know how important he is to this country. We know he is standing between us and the mob, standing between us and the hard left. I mean, people seem to forget what other Republican presidents have been like, certainly post-Reagan. They've been very milquetoast. They've been very average. It's hard to remember anything profound that they've done, not to put them down, but it's hard to remember everything profound Donald Trump has done. And so, you know, you have to accept the fact that this man's under constant attack, under constant pressure, and I think he's performing brilliantly. Where I think you and I disagree with him is we want to see the Iranian regime destroyed. We want to see them pulled out from the roots up, arm the people there. And some of the leaks against Netanyahu, which I don't think are him, might be some of the envoys and so forth. Because we need Netanyahu in Israel. We need Donald Trump in the White House. This is a strong duo like FDR and Churchill, like Reagan and Thatcher. These are two of the greatest leaders of all time. And again, nobody's perfect. Sid and I aren't perfect. We have our views, and we express them. And, you know, Sid, that's very, very important that we do. So he hears from a different perspective, not just some of these individuals. And we do it very, very respectfully. In other words, we raise the question about the issue. We never try to sabotage him.
That's right.
We never tried to stab them in the back. And that's the difference between us and so many people who are just nasty as hell.
You nailed it. That's exactly right. That's the way I do it. That's the way you do it. And that's why at the end of the day, he still respects us. The one thing I do get about this Iran stuff, and I'm right with you, I've been adamant about it, just blow their doors off. That's it. And, I heard you bring up World War II with Germany and Japan with Sean Hannity a couple of nights ago. Nobody wanted those people to die, but that's war. But the boots on the ground issue, Rachel Campo stuff he keeps bringing up with me. But I said, listen, I don't want him there. Trump doesn't want him there. Listen, President Trump doesn't want anybody to die. You got to know this guy. He is a good-hearted, nice man. He doesn't want anybody to die. But if it calls for a situation, whether it's getting to a place where you got to get the dust or who knows what, and we need some boots on the ground, if it means a victory, you got to do it. And when I say that for some reason, Mark Levin, I become a bad person.
Well, you're not. I think we have something called the Marines, do we not?
Yeah,
I think we have something called the Army, do we not? Should we retire them? Should we shut it down? Those are boots on the ground. I don't even like that phrase. These are our men, infantry, Marines, and so forth and so on. And if you're going to announce in advance that we're never going to use them, the enemy will attack us. They have a lot of boots on the ground. It's just so absurd. And these isolationists, most of them are very ignorant. Most of them are not aware of our history. Most of them are very sympathetic to our enemies, to be quite frank about it. And they've undermined the president every step of the way. But this idea that we should, number one, never have quote-unquote boots on the ground, and number two, convey that to the enemy, and then we're going in for a $1.5 trillion defense budget, none of that makes sense because they don't make sense. We don't send in troops just to send in troops. We send in troops if we have to, and these are men and women who are trained. They are volunteers. None of them are drafted. They understand their duty. They are incredibly patriotic, more patriotic than most. And these people who keep saying no boots on the ground, no boots on the ground, they're the ones who are going to get us into World War III. They're the ones who are going to wait until geographically, militarily, and psychologically, we're not prepared to defend ourselves. They're wrong.
100% wrong. Couldn't agree with you more. Mark, I want to move to Turkey. You, like me, very adamant about not providing F-35s to Erdogan in Turkey. Bibi came out right away, said, look, I love Trump, I love him, but he can't do this. He can't provide Turkey with any military machinery. Now, I had a guy in studio yesterday, our dear friend John Kaczmatidis, who loves us both, and he is of Greek descent, so he knows just how dangerous Turkey is, and he said, don't worry, not going to happen, not in a million years. And I tend to believe that. I think President Trump knows that F-35s in the hands of Turkey would be a huge problem for Israel and, quite frankly, a lot of the Middle East. But until he says no, that is still kind of dangling out there. Are you worried about that?
Look, if the president proposes something and he's pushing it hard, I worry about it if I disagree with it. F-35s for Turkey, to me, is something to be opposed strongly. And if it doesn't happen, it's going to be because Republicans and Democrats in Congress don't want it to happen. There is a resolution in place, it can't be ignored, that says no. And the reason is Erdogan is friendly with Putin. He bought S-400s, ground-to-air missile systems, in violation of our rules, in violation of NATO. He didn't care. And then he wants F-35. So what he wants is Russian defense batteries against jets, and then he wants our top jets. And, of course, we have hundreds of billions of technology that went into these jets. They're stealth fighters. They're cutting edge, and it would change the balance of power there. It would potentially give this incredibly important technology to the enemy. Why do it? Why give him 100 F-35s? This guy is a nationalist, socialist, sound familiar? Islamist. He is constantly threatening Israel, Greece, Cyprus. He's constantly kissing up to Putin. He doesn't get F-35s, regardless, period. He doesn't get F-35s. It took us 25 years to develop that technology in those jets, and we don't give it to one of the most heinous dictators on the planet, period. And I'm not one of these guys, just to be honest, it'll never happen this side or there. It takes voices like yours and mine and a lot of behind-the-scenes work people don't realize I do and you do to advance good things and prevent what I consider bad things.
That's why your voice is so important. Mark Levin joining us right here, the great one, the amazing Mark Levin. You know, I saw you retweet a good friend of mine. We did an event together in the city a couple of weeks ago, Erin Molan from Australia. She's great. She really is great. And she was talking about Lindsey Graham. So sad when he passed away on Sunday. And look, if you're a great American and a patriot, you have to be destroyed over this. I know the people that are celebrating, they're horrible people. And this idea that Lindsey Graham was a warmonger, I got to tell you, Levin, he's a terrible guy. What kind of decent person would stand up with the Ukrainians or the Israelis? He must have been a terrible guy, right, Mark?
It's the same damnable woke right neo-fascist isolationists who really oppose the United States, oppose our military, and oppose us being a superpower, the number one superpower. Lindsey Graham stood with our allies, Israel, Taiwan, Ukraine. Lindsey Graham stood against these vicious Marxist, fascist, Islamist dictators. He sees 90 million people in Iran. He sees the Jews in Israel. He sees the Ukrainians under attack, and he wants to help and support them. How is that a warmonger when you're supporting liberation movements, when you're supporting democracies against communists and fascists and Islamists? It's not. We have to take the language back. We have to take the arguments back. That's not a warmonger. That is a humanitarian. The warmongers are the enemy. The warmongers build up the military to attack us, to attack our allies. They're the warmongers. Lindsey was a humanitarian, and he spoke up for these people, and he met their leaders, and he gave them hope and so forth. That's why his passing is mourned by the people of Iran. His passing is mourned by the people of Israel, the people of Ukraine, the people of Taiwan. These are our allies. These are our supporters. And you can see the woke right. They're friendly with Qatar. They're friendly with Saudi Arabia. They're friendly with Putin. These are bad, stupid people. They're not conservatives.
Well said. Bad, stupid people. I love that. They are. And they are growing in numbers, which makes me nervous, kind of like the DSA and the Democrats. But I got to tell you, again, you and I were in Israel together not that long ago, and we know that country well. So we know when people are lying and all the genocidal nonsense and all the horrible things said about Israel. And another guy that I find just completely detestable, right there with maybe the worst politician like Mamdani in this country, is this ass Ro Khanna from California, who goes to Judea and Samaria, which of course he calls the West Bank, and he goes there without telling anybody, and then he makes up this whole ridiculous story like Tucker Carlson did about being detained when none of that was true. I loved Mike Huckabee's response to what Ro Khanna actually did a couple of days ago, but here it is, Mark, another example of a Democrat politician lying about Israel and furthering all these horrible untruths.
Yeah, Ro Khanna a few years ago contacted Rich, my producer, you know well, and said, look, I'm a moderate.
Love him.
He comes out of Silicon Valley. I want to show you I can do both sides. And I said to Rich, he's not coming on. This guy's a fraud. Right. I can just smell him. He's a fraud.
Good for you.
And he is a fraud. So he's gone hardcore, anti-Semite, anti-Israel, anti-America. He was a big supporter of this guy, Etner, and so forth. Ro Khanna, there's three zones, A, B, and C. The Jewish zone, the Israel zone is C, Palestinian zone is, I think, is A, and then B is really no man's land. And so what happened was he goes to Judea and Samaria, where these really hardworking men and women are. It's sparsely populated. And right next door, they could have Palestinian terrorists, because that's all they do with the terrorism and so forth. And he goes in, he's got Palestinian guides, he's got a very hostile guide, the photographer is anti-Israel. These are really pro-Hamas people, I would argue. He goes into this militarily protected zone where he's not allowed to go. He's stopped first by some of the people who are there, some of the Israelis. The police come, they talk to him. The IDF comes, talks to him, tells him he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. We have a video, thanks to him, that slug he has who's with him releases. He was not detained.
Nope.
He was not mistreated.
Nope.
He was not abused.
Nope.
He was turned away. And he's lied about this ever since. These Jew haters, these Israel haters, every damn one of them, keep in mind, hates America too. They trash America. They trash our military. They don't want to fund our military. They just voted against it. They trash Israel. They trash Ukraine. These are very, very bad people. And the Democrat Party, once it stood for slavery, once it stood for eugenics and segregation, now it stands for Jew hatred and anti-Americanism. If you're a blue-collar worker, if you're a union guy and you're a Democrat, you need to get the hell out of that party. They hate your guts. They want to destroy this country. If you're a patriot, you need to get the hell out of that party because that party is now the enemy.
Bibi was on a couple of days ago. We were talking about Mamdani, and we all know, of course, that he's a raging anti-Semite. Mark Levin, him, his vile, wretched, disgusting wife, his father, his mother, they all hate the Jews. But Bibi made the point for the folks that go, Sid, enough with Israel. I thought you were America first, which I am. Bibi made the point what you just made, which is usually these anti-Semites, they try to hide it, but they hate America too. And that brings me to Bibi. Now, he's won 5 of the last 6 elections. I got to hear all the time from people in New York, he's done, it's over. Everybody hates him in New York. They hate him in Israel. He keeps winning. I don't think that's true. But I did see a poll a couple of days ago where he is in second place. Some guy moved out of him. I don't care. But that's happened before, and Bibi still finds a way to win. Now, I saw your Twitter this morning, and you talked about the Arabs already trying to make sure that Bibi does not win again. How serious is that?
The Arabs are actually running ads in Israel against Netanyahu. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and one of the other ones. So they want Bibi out. The woke right wants Bibi out. The Hamas-supporting Islamist Marxists want Bibi out. Why do they want him out? Because it's the strongest leader in the history of the state of Israel. That's why. Because, as the president says, unbelievable wartime prime minister. The problem in Israel is it's a constant state of war, not because of Israel, but because of the surrounding enemies they have there, which is so horrific. The fact of the matter is there is a Channel 14 poll from a pollster who's more accurate than the others that shows him in the lead.
Good.
But it's very complicated there. It's like the Italian system, which is stupid.
Yep.
And so you got to put these coalitions together. You need to get Ernie Grabatsky over here and Frank Goldberg over there, and you got to get them together and put your team together. So it's hard to know, but he is not hated in Israel. There's some people who hate him, but he's still the most popular public figure in Israel, period.
That's it. And I know you and I both agree that what a special time to have President Trump running our country, and a lot of people call him the Winston Churchill. Bibi running Israel. I know you got to run, but one more for you. You mentioned the Democrat Party. And here I am on 49th Street and 3rd Avenue, Mark, in a city you know very well, New York City, which is being run by this jihadist, terrorist, Marxist, socialist, communist mayor, this Mamdani, this lowlife. But he's not the only one. And we're starting to see there's 9 different DSA people that have won in New York, Mark. 9. New Jersey's got a bunch of people winning. They're all over Michigan. They are spreading like a cancer. I know they're not huge in numbers yet, but they will multiply. And I'm a bit scared. I've been told not to be because the numbers are not very big right now, but they are multiplying. Shouldn't people be more afraid of what may be ahead of us?
100%. People don't understand these big communist revolutions were started by a minority. Lenin, about 30% of the population supported him. He took over a country. Mao, about 25% of the population supported him. He took over the country. In Cuba, it was Castro and about 58 guerrillas. That was it, with the help of the New York Times, and he took over a country. Revolutions don't occur from a majority. The vast majority of Americans are patriotic. They're middle class. They fight for this country. They argue for this country. But things are swirling around. This minority is aggressive. They wake up every morning trying to figure out how to overthrow the country. And remember, we're a representative republic. So it's not majoritarianism and democracy, it's republicanism. And if they take over the levers of power, like a communist Grimsky, an Italian, told them, top down, not bottom up, you can take over a country. And that is, they've taken over our biggest city. How much more do people need to see? They've taken over Patterson, New Jersey. They've taken over Dearborn, Michigan. It's one state at a time. They build these fortresses. They teach Sharia law. They vote 97%. The imams get them out in the Democrat primaries where you get 28% vote turnout, and they come out 97%, and they win these primaries. One of them elected is enough. Our biggest city in the country has been taken over, and they're depopulating it of Italians and Poles and Germans and Irish and Jews and you name it, because he wants to remake the city. This is ground zero, literally, on the 25th anniversary of 9/11. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Seriously, I mean, just imagine we're going to see Rudy Giuliani there, our friend Mark, who was so heroic and just amazing. Yes. And this guy's going to be standing next to him, Mark Levin, Mamdani, standing next to Rudy Giuliani. That's got to be enough to make you vomit right there.
It is shocking and it's appalling. And as New York is depopulated of people who don't support Mamdani, and this is what he hopes, it's going to be harder and harder to defeat him because he is literally changing the demographics and the population in New York. He's aiming at the Jews. He's aiming at the Italians. He's aiming at the Irish and the Germans and the Poles. He's doing these things purposely, and people are not going to stay. And so what happens? They're replaced with more Islamists. They're replaced with illegal aliens. They're replaced with Democrats, and these Marxist Islamists are going to run the city. I worry about it a lot.
Good, then I'm not alone, because I do too, and I'm told, oh, Sid, stop the numbers, and if Mark Levin is right, I said,
they're wrong.
Thank you. I'm going to end this where I started this. I love Bibi and Trump, but you're my favorite person in the world. You're just an amazing.
You are too, brother.
You're great. I love you. And you're loyal, and you're smart. And, man, I can't hear enough from you. Your TV show on Saturday and Sunday, your radio show, over 400 stations across America doing an unbelievable job. America is so lucky to have you, Mark Levin. I love you so much. Thank you so much.
And, Sid, same to you, brother. Your energy is incomparable. It is just very, very important. Keep it up, and God bless you and all your audience there.
You too, Mark. Keep it up. And your lovely wife, Julie, as well, who's a lovely lady. There he is, the all-time great, the great one. That's a perfect nickname for the Mark Levin that just joined me just now. 6 to 8 every weeknight right here on WABC. Over 400 stations across America. Big-time TV show on Fox News. The great one, Mark Levin.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?